It's time to sit back, relax, and listen to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life will inspire, motivate, and empower you. Live your best life now. Listen, learn, think, and decide. Change your attitude, change your life. And now, here's your host, Joan Herman.
Welcome to Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. I'm Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in. Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life brings you interviews with some of the most inspirational and influential people in the world. It's our goal to educate and empower you so you can live your best life now. Thank you for taking time for yourself, and thank you for letting us be a part of your life. We have another great show for you today. According to today's guest, Guy Finley, relationships are the most abundant, yet least understood and utilized resource on the planet. Guy is here to offer powerful insights into how to understand and improve relationships so you can achieve meaningful connections. Guy is the author of over 40 books and audio programs. He helps people find greater happiness through deeper self-understanding. He is the director of the Life of Learning Foundation. Welcome, Guy. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, I'm glad to be with you, Joan.
Well, Guy, it is so nice to have you back. I always enjoy our conversation. And today, we're going to be discussing relationships. We all have them. Some we love and cherish, and others, well, they're not so magical. So can all of these relationships, the good and the bad, help us reach our potential and find and fulfill our life purpose?
Not only are we all intended to do that, but it's through our relationships with one another and with life itself that we discover aspects of ourselves, Joan, that just aren't available otherwise. So relationships are a unique process by which we discover characteristics and qualities within ourselves through others that really enrich our lives and fulfill the purpose of our very existence.
So, Guy, even the ones that we'd like to forget about?
Even more so. Even more so. Joan, you know, you go outside, it's a beautiful, for instance, spring here in Southern Oregon. All the oaks with their new leaves, shadows, greens, all this beauty. And as I sit here in relationship with what I'm looking at, I can feel things in myself that ordinarily I wouldn't feel were it not for my surroundings. We love the feeling of seeing beauty because it awakens in us a feeling of beauty we didn't know was there. We love these aspects of relationships that reveal to us these more, in quote, positive qualities, these strong characteristics. The same exact truth holds for relationships that trouble us. They reveal to us qualities or aspects of ourselves that we don't know about, but that lay latent in us. And until we're conscious of them, which is what these relationships with unwanted moments produce, they control our reactions. So relationships serve as a platform for revelation about ourselves, about our nature, and ultimately what it takes to release or transcend those parts of ourselves thanks to those relationships.
So, Guy, you know, today we have an astronomical divorce rate. It's skyrocketing. The statistics are saying 1 in 2 marriages are ending in divorce and people are breaking up. And when someone is so broken, when their heart is shattered, how can they see what you're saying? How can they turn that around and make this relationship teach them something about themselves?
All of us understand the following, even though we may not want to. No relationship that we have with life or with anyone else can be any better, brighter, or broader than the understanding that we have of ourselves. As long as we blame others for our own unhappiness, the only thing that can take place is we continue to let unconscious parts of ourselves prove that we're right and others are wrong. Well, every relationship that has troubles in them, and by the way, they have to have troubles in them because it is through meeting limitation that we grow. If I'm a weightlifter, I'm a runner, I know I have to hit the wall physically and that I have to go through that wall if I want to grow. In relationships, we will meet the wall of some limitation within ourselves that we don't know about. And we have to thank the other person for showing us that limitation instead of blaming them for the feeling we have when we meet it. It's a very distinct difference. Can you see it, Joan?
I can, because, you know, Guy, the listeners know a little bit about my story. And in one period within 6 months of my life, my 23-year marriage ended. My mother died. My sister died. And I'll tell you, Guy, in the years that followed, in the past 5 years that have followed that 6-month period, I have learned more about myself and I have
There you
grown
go.
more than I did in the 46 years before that.
There you
So
go.
it is absolutely, and what I did learn was that, especially from my marriage ending, I put so much emphasis on my partner and I didn't know anything about myself, how to love myself. I knew nothing. So it really comes down to self-love and awareness, as you say.
It comes down to a new awareness of our own possibilities and then a kind of love or freedom for life that is born out of those discoveries.
Mm-hmm.
Because you said it, but I guarantee you, and I know this is true, you weren't feeling this ebullient and happy about the situation while it was going down.
No.
As things break up, we can use them to wake up, or we can let them pull us down. There's no other thing that happens with relationships. That's why I've developed this new audio book, this new album, so that people can start to understand. Relationships serve a different purpose than we imagine them to be. If I believe that you're on this planet to make me happy, you will be the source of my unhappiness when you fail to fulfill the role been given to you unconsciously by me. Dependency breeds fear. Fear breeds resentment. Resentment breaks up relationships.
And Guy, is that the formula as to why so many people have destructive relationship patterns?
The real formula is that we have become wrongly identified with people and places and powers and possessions outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
If I believe that my worth as a human being depends upon your smile, your approval, then now you have authority over me that ultimately I have to resist and then finally resent when you don't give me the approval I think I'm nothing without. So it's a process of waking up, of discovering what is essentially our right through these relationships to realize parts of ourselves that are fully independent, happy, and loving without another human being in our life. But the other human being we find then begins to help us fulfill this process of discovery we've been talking about.
Guy, I hear from so many people that no matter what they do, they can't seem to form lasting relationships. They're lonely. What do you think is happening that keeps them separated from others?
Here's a very powerful idea I hope everyone will consider for a few moments. The only thing that troubles me about another person is what I want from him or her. So that if I'm lonely, isolated, and someone comes into my life and I have a flash, a feeling like, gosh, this may be the right person, suddenly these parts of myself that fear their own dependency or that fear their own weaknesses, which is one and the same quality, they will step up and they will produce a fear of entering into that relationship. But it won't call itself being afraid of love. It'll say, gee, that person's not right, or I'm not ready, or it'll start talking in terms of, yeah, this could be good, but then the famous what if starts to come in. And nothing ruins a new relationship other than a mind anticipating, imagining a negative outcome. Then it produces the very thing it doesn't want before it gets started.
That can apply to any type of relationship, not just romantic.
Oh, yeah,
If you
of
had a
course.
friend that may have hurt you in the past, you're building that wall. So how do we tear down those walls then?
We have to recognize what we're talking about. This isn't an intellectual process. Relationships, their beauty, their potential to educate us spiritually, inwardly, all depend upon our understanding that life as it is, every relationship is literally a mirror. Literally, Joan. I look outside, I see the beauty, I feel the beauty. I look outside, I see someone coming up the driveway I don't know, suddenly I'm filled with fear. Now, the fear, the instinctual part of it may be necessary, but the negativity, the apprehension, that belongs to a part of me that is imagining something bad is going to happen, so that the stress, the fear, the worry is born of negative imagination. And whenever a person lets negative imagination prescribe the path going forward, they won't walk further than the first step where they're being told they're going to fall down. Big idea, important to understand.
And we're reflecting these emotions all the time, whether we realize it or not.
we are meant to be ceaselessly stirred. I call life a cosmic swizzle stick, Joan. We're meant all the time to be experiencing these different qualities and characteristics of ourselves. Another reason that relationships don't last is because people become bored with one another because we look to the other person to stir us up, to keep us excited and happy. That's not the job of the other person. Each of us is intended to be on a journey of discovery where we not only learn something new about ourselves through each other every day, but then becoming new, we bring that newness into our relationship where the other person gets to experience the possibility of being in love with or in relationship with somebody that's actually quite new.
Guy, thank you so much for being here and for helping us learn how to put a little magic back into our relationships. If you'd like to learn more about Guy's program, Relationship Magic, you can visit myrelationshipmagic.org. And if you type in the code MAGIC, our listeners will receive 25% off the program. So that's myrelationshipmagic.org. And if you'd like to learn more about Guy and his work, you can visit guyfinley.org.
Thanks so much, Joan.
We'll be right back. Hi, this is Joan Herman, host of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. Did you know that Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life has a free monthly digital magazine that can be read online or emailed to your inbox? Every month, nationally recognized leaders in their field provide information to educate, inspire, and motivate you. We believe in a holistic approach to life, incorporating mind, body, and spirit. Check out a copy of Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life 24/7. Visit cyacyl.com and be sure to tell your friends. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found the show informative. At Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life, we believe that knowledge is power. Take what you've learned, apply it, and live your best life now. Remember that the information provided are the opinions of our guests and should never replace the advice of a professional who knows your personal situation. If you'd like more information, visit our website, cyacyl.com. That stands for Change Your Attitude, Change Your Life. While on the site, listen to past shows on demand, read the digital magazine, and be sure to follow the show on Facebook and Twitter. Until next time, this is Joan Herman. Thanks for tuning in.